What dirty little secret does your profession hide that the consumer should know? Valet driver here. Don't leave your drugs in the car. A kid took a pound out of a customer's car a few years back, and the dude came back flipping out screaming at the manager. When the manager finally asked what was stolen, and he told him weed, my manager just said, "Oh. Well, you can file a police report then." Every driver of a truck has nodded off at one time or another, making them an 80,000 pound death missile. I worked receiving at Costco for 5 years. I can attest that these people are sleep deprived as duck. They always look like zombies when I buzz them in. That, and apparently Swift Transportation doesn't offer their employees dental. Plumber. I make over half my money using one tool that costs $50, and a skill that can be learned in 20 minutes. Edit. The tool is a shifter, and the skill is knowing how to pull apart and install taps. Drain snakes and plungers are how I make almost all the rest. That almost is the reason I need all of my other tools. Yes, but your job is the key, so I will pay you to do it. I get paid to tell you what your employees have been telling you. This is buried, but oh, so true. Real life example I was involved in. When where I work, a non-profit, started to do email campaigns, we had open rates of around 36% with corresponding high click-through rates. Pretty damn high. Then management started to abuse the hell out of it by over-emailing everyone. We either had people unsubscribe like mad, or just ignore/not open. Our open rates went down to about 5%. We had over half our list unsubscribe. Every time we had an event or something going on, the message was always the same: I want this to go out to everyone. I'd be like, we need to email far less, and target to people's interest when we do. Have an event coming up? I want an email blast going out every day for a week before the event, reminding people about it. So eventually the big guy is despondent over the super low open rates. We end up contracting with a social media expert company to develop a strategy for us that cost $40,000. Their biggest recommendation? Cut down on the number of emails we send out and target them to interested audiences. GM of a rental car company here. Do not, under any circumstances, buy additional roadside assistance or premium roadside assistance. Essentially every new car comes with 5 years of free roadside assistance from the manufacturer. As long as you weren't off-roading, just give the manufacturer's RSA hotline the VIN and mileage and you are good to go. A certain telephone company with a blue globe logo doesn't actually have a billing department. You are always routed to sales. The job is not to fix your billing problem, it's to upsell you. If you have a legit billing problem, you will be transferred, because the representative doesn't want to deal with anyone that isn't a sale. Every time you're transferred, it's actually to the same department, just a different sales representative. Billing managers are really just sales managers. It's not uncommon for assistants and apprentices to make the art of really famous, well-known, expensive artists. The artist might be very involved in the process or barely involved. They can have studios with dozens of assistants churning out all of their work, and then just sign their name to it. And I'm not just talking about sculptures or art installations where assistants might be doing the grunt work. Even paintings could be barely touched by the actual artist. Teacher here, I hide your secrets. If your kids know it, I know it. Children are tactless and impulsive, and they tell me all about your reproductive habits, financial difficulties, domestic problems, and Tinder dates. I know so much about moms and dads that I wish I could erase from my brain forever. But I will never tell. You're welcome. Sewer inspector. I can tell exactly who what house is dumping oil and grease down their drains. It's usually the churches and businesses that get nasty grams and fines, but we need to shame the house people too. My wife and her college roommates would flush grease down the sink with cold water. They thought the reason you don't pour grease down the sink was because it would burn the pipes, so they cooled it down real good first. She is beautiful though. Doctor here. I'll see a patient Monday morning in the hospital, work all night, and then Tuesday morning in the hospital, and I won't have slept in the 24 hours in between. And this is totally normal and accepted practice in medicine. When I was in college, I asked my primary care physician if he thought I should become a doctor. He told me, if you want to work like a gentleman, become a lawyer. Doctors worked like animals for many years. I'm now a lawyer and I have zero regrets. I have no idea how you guys do it. Engineering is nowhere close to being as accurate or precise as people think. Edit. Damn, this blew up. For those of you asking, I'm in product development for automotive. In my personal experience, I hear the phrase close enough quite a bit. I also do a lot of work in model correlating, and if the actual part reacts at least 70% to the model comparison, we're usually happy with the result. If we knew we were actually going to build this thing, we'd have designed it entirely differently. Legacy programmer here. All of the debt from your houses, and your parents' and landlords' houses, and increasingly all of your credit card, consumer and student loan debt, are all being processed on 24-hour cycles on a system backbone that was written well before I was born. And I'm old, in Reddit terms. I work in mortgage servicing, and tinker with the spider webs that hold up the economy as we know it. It's pretty complex, because everything runs on spit and promises, and equal parts sunshine and darkness. We find ways to squeeze tiny bits of performance improvements out of an impossible system, so that we can immediately put more load on it. If you want to guarantee yourself years of work in an environment you'll probably hate, learn to code in COBOL. Most of the people in my department are within a decade of retirement, if they live that long. Our company pays college kids to learn on the job now, because there are no new COBOL programmers. I hate it. It's a chore to get up and go in every day. It's my dream job and I'm lucky to have it. If you're sitting at a blackjack table and aren't sure what play to make, ask the dealer. No, seriously. We're trained to know the official blackjack strategy guide, and are allowed to give you that information, considered common knowledge. If the dealer doesn't know it offhand, their supervisor should have a copy of it, and will help you out. Tech startups. Many places spend almost no time or effort on security. It's a race to add features and patch over major bugs, to try to get some kind of revenue stream before funding runs out. Security isn't a problem until it is, so it's always on the back burner. I used to work for a major package delivery service unloading semi-trailers. The flat screen TV you ordered for Christmas was under a gun safe and a lift kit for a truck. Same past job. If your box looks a little bit crushed, it was probably one of 20 that were wedged together in a chute somewhere along the belt line that took all of the strength someone could summon to unwedge. If you're going to ship something, make sure it can survive a fall from chest height. Teacher, it's that time of year to make class placements for next year. Every year there are 2 or 3 teachers in the school, elementary, who are so awful. We cry over which students we have to sacrifice to them and hope they are strong enough to survive a year with Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. Many of the books you read, especially romance, aren't written by the person whose name is on the cover. Most romance books are ghost written and bought by someone else, often a man, I found, and published under a female's name with a fake bio. How do I know this? I'm a ghostwriter. After working in the travel industry, I can tell you that hotel room rates are often not fixed prices. If guests come to the front desk and ask the price, we generally start at the high end. Most people accept this as fact and pay up. However, if a customer is hesitant or threatens to walk out, we can sometimes drop the price to keep them there. Often there is a bottom line price set by the owners. We can't go any lower than that or we lose money. Busting out a throwaway for this one, only because I work for quite a big company that probably does have the resources to identify me by my Reddit account. I work in mobile phone sales for a mobile network. One of the biggest things we'll get you on is upgrades. Once your phone contract is due to expire, and you're eligible to upgrade your plan and get a new handset, most people just come into the store, find a phone they like on a plan they like, and take the first price offered to them. Others will ask if we can negotiate the price. We'll tell you no, and for the most part, that's true. Call true to the cancellation teams. I've seen the cancellation teams make some insane deals for people on monthly contracts. Lowering people to plans on devices that would normally have upfronts in the triple digits, and just whipping them without a second thought. Contracts where the customer is paying almost no premium on the phone, or getting the airtime for next to nothing. It's insane. This also applies to your broadband at home. Once your introductory offer is gone, most of the time you can call up and have it regraded back to the introductory offer, or the new offer if there's a better one. Never leave your broadband rolling for longer than the minimum contract term, because I guarantee you'll almost always be able to get a better deal from the same company. Got any 4G tablets or portable Wi-Fi devices with your phone plan as well? Well, first of all, let me thank you for helping me survive. The cross-sell is basically what we live for in those jobs. New connections are what the guys up top hound us for. I bet you don't know the mobile numbers attached to those devices, do you? Who would? You never use them. When they are eligible for upgrade, a lot of salespeople will do it as a new connection rather than an upgrade, in order to get a new unit added on, then cancel off your old one, or give you instructions on doing that. Check first if your carrier offers any benefit to upgrading these devices, because sometimes there are customer loyalty benefits attached to these sorts of upgrades, in order to prevent us from doing it this way. In the UK, at least, your mobile carrier legally must unlock your device for free if it's outside of contract, and you request it. Get yourself some extra value before you sell your old phone. It only takes 10 minutes on the phone to customer services. Ever been in for a mobile upgrade and been cross-sold something as, "You can only get this deal when bought with your upgrade," or something to that effect? Look into it first. WBW plans do exist, but they're ridiculously uncommon, at least for the company I work for. Most of our offers are time limited, but if you want to take a few days to think on it, 9 out of 10 times we'll be able to do it later. We just like to hit daily targets to avoid getting sticks up our asses. I'm sure a lot of people already knew these, but if not, I hope I've saved people some money. If you want to give back to the people in mobile sales, fill out those surveys that you get via text message or email after. In the company I work for, at least, getting good scores on those goes towards our commission. Some of us are dirty crooks who will try to sell you stuff for the sake of units. Other people will try and sell you stuff based on a notion that it is something you would truly benefit from. Make sure to get their names. If you revisit a salesperson that's genuinely helped you, not only are you helping them by continuing your patronage with them, you're also always going to be able to talk to someone you can trust. Bakery owner here, if you order a custom cake, we will charge you a fair price depending on decoration, size, flavorings, etc. No matter what type event it's for. We don't upcharge you for weddings, as much as Reddit likes to think. We will, however, upsell you. You want white cake? That's fine, but this Genoese sponge is much tastier, and costs 75 cents more per serving. You want a lace wrap bottom? What if I hand-piped lace all over it? It would be much more beautiful, and cost about $100 to $500 more, depending on cake size. You get the idea. Basically, if you have a firm cake budget, make sure you let the bakery know when you start your tasting. Take their suggestions if they fit within your budget. They won't try to upsell you too much unless they are assholes, and it'll save a lot of disappointment. Accounting. That the appearance of everything is fine is more important than is everything actually fine. Financial statement sign-offs by accountants are becoming more like rubber stamps. Accountants are blessing financial statements that haven't been properly vetted, because of cost constraints engulfing the industry. It's only a matter of time before the next Enron accounting scandal. I work in video games. Our job is to make our game as addictive as possible so that we can make the most money out of microtransactions. Think mobile phone games. A lot of our game design is by marketing telling us what people will most likely buy in the game by watching data. Sure, it starts free to play, but to keep you playing and paying we mine data to make it more sticky. After a while I felt like I was working for a drug dealer and quit recommending our games to people I knew. Sure, people have fun playing the games we make, but I don't want to hear later about how much money you or your kids wasted on it.